Hi, Alex. Thanks for watching. This is just a quick look at how Google views and ranks your website in the search results. So by knowing how the program works, you can use it to your advantage to increase traffic to your site, getting it to the first page so that way you're the first click and the first call when anybody is searching for services in your area. So I've got your website here. It's really easy to navigate with all the menus up top. It flows great. The issue that I'm having though is the amount of text on the page or the lack thereof. The reason being is when Google is trying to rank your website, it's going to use two different factors. The first is the content. So it's going to come in and it's going to count all the words on the page. It's looking for about minimum of 1,000 to 1,500 words. Reason being that the more text you have on the page, the more information, the more it feels that you're an expert on whatever field that you're in. Now, while it's counting the number of words, it's also looking for keywords, which would be any kind of word or phrase that somebody would type into Google search. It's usually going to be a service and then also a location that or an area that you do that service in. Now, this is where the number of words on the page really comes into play because you're only allowed to have one keyword for every 100 to 150 words on the page. So in order to be found for more keywords, we'd have to end up adding a lot more text onto the page so that we could put those keywords in to be found. The second way that Google ranks your website is based on the authority, which is basically a popularity contest. The way to get this authority is through two different ways. The first is a citation. That is anytime that your name, address, and phone number are listed in an online directory, such as Yelp, Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, things like that. Most of these directories are all free. It just takes some time to find them, register, and then input all the information. You just want to make sure you're putting in exactly as it sees in Google. The second way to build authority is through what's called a backlink, which is other websites that are linking or referring back to yours. Google uses that as an endorsement to build trust when others are vouching for you. So you can basically equate that to a customer review. If your business has 1 or 10 or 100 reviews, customers are going to see that and have confidence in your ability. Google's doing the same thing except with other websites that refer back to yours. So to see how this determines where your website ranks in the results, if we go back to our search, you'll see the first thing that shows up is what's called the map pack. It's fairly important to try to get ranked in here as well because statistically speaking, about half, a little over 40% of people will click on one of these three businesses. Now, to get listed in here, what you have to do is fill out your Google Business profile. It's free. It's inside the Google Maps app, so you can do it right from a smartphone. What you want to do is fill out all the information as much as you can, your services that you offer, the areas you offer it in, even the hours of operation. Then you want to continuously add photos of your jobs that you've done that are geotagged inside your service area. You want to have customers leave reviews for you, and then you want to try to get as many of those citations as possible, those directories with your name, address, and phone number. The point here is to try to get more than everybody else, so that way it boosts you to the top of the list. Then underneath that is what we call the organic search results. This is where the higher the authority or the more trust Google has in your website, the higher up on the list that you're going to rank. So to demonstrate this, I put your website into this tool that I use, and it basically just shows me what Google is seeing when it crawls your site for both the content and then also the authority. So to increase your authority, we want to try to get more websites that refer back to yours. So besides those citations, an example would be if, say, a news station did an article on the top 10 roofers in the Boston area. And inside that article, there was a link that the readers could click, and that would send them to your website. That would be considered one backlink from one referring domain. As an example, what I did was I took the top organic search result in Boston just to show you what they're doing, how many websites they have referring back to them. Boston is a little bit of a competitive market, so they definitely have a little bit more websites and power referring back to theirs. They're also showing a lot more keywords, but that's not necessarily as important. As a whole, it's not just a matter of the quantity of links, it's also a matter of the quality. So for instance, if you had Pizza Hut referring back to your website, Google knows that you're roofing, you're not making pizzas, so that link wouldn't add any kind of authority to your site. And then if we go in here and look at your content, these are all the keywords and phrases that customers are searching for that Google has found on your site. It's also listing the volume, which is the number of times per month that these are being searched. So the object here is to try to do some research and find all of the high volume keywords and make sure that those keywords are on your site so that way you're coming up in the search results when people are searching for them. So just to use an example, I don't know if you do copper slate roofs, but it's being searched 250 times per month. If you were to be ranked number one, or at least on the first page of Google in the first couple, 250 people will be seeing your website. Conservatively speaking, let's say 10% of those people actually click your website and then give you a call. So that's 25 calls you're getting. If we get even more conservative and say that only like a quarter of those actually convert into customers and you get a job done, then you'd be looking somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 to 8 jobs per month just off one keyword. So that's how the power of being ranked in the top and then also having a high-powered keyword on your website can drive a lot of sales and revenue for your business. So imagine if we had that as well as multiple other keywords working for you, so you're capturing all those sales from all these high-powered keywords on your site. So I hope this information was helpful and allows you to scale your online presence to get you onto the first page. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions or would like some further detail on anything I went through. Also, we could talk about some of your goals and I could do some research to figure out what you would need to do and what it would take to get those. I always do love getting feedback as well to find out if information like this is useful to you. So please let me know your thoughts. Thanks, and I look forward to speaking with you.